So we are all welcome to the class for the day. So we are going to continue from where we stopped last week, which was on discussion on applications of machine learning in crop production, revisited. So we call it revisited because we earlier had a kind of a 3 weeks discussion on how machine learning can be used to enhance crop production. However, in this time around, we are now starting with practical demonstration in Weka environment. That is, we've gotten data sets and we try to see, okay, how can we make use of this data set towards practically demonstrating how machine learning can hopefully support us in increasing agricultural production in different forms and areas. We reminded ourselves that it cannot be overemphasized that agriculture is by far one of the most important, if not the most important, means of livelihood of millions and billions all over the world. So, and the global demand is kept increasing every day as the population keep going up, and also affordability for some people are making people to want to eat different type of food at the same time, which of course is going to put a strain on the other people who may not have that capability. So leading to wastage in one area while some people are dying of famine. So it means either way we look at it, the need to increase agricultural yield cannot be overemphasized. So, and then given the technological advancement in the artificial intelligence world, data science and machine learning, we are trying to see, okay, from our own little point of view, how can we also contribute? You don't have to be a farmer before you can use technology to support them, even though it is always very scintillating, very interesting to be a farmer in your own little way, if you have the access to it. Because when you eat what you plant yourself, it has a different feeling. So, and I can relate to that. And some of us who are also into little minor farming can also testify. So one way or the other, if you have the opportunity, get your environment to have some greenish stuffs to surround you, and you can still pluck part of it to eat at some point in time. However, we may not be able to all go into farming, but how can we support those people that have decided to make it their way? How can we support them? For sure, non-Mosulia, we have a responsibility to support them. They may not have the technological know-how of how to go about it, but for those that are blessed with such opportunity, then we can't afford to shy away from the reality. So we have to see how can we key in and then support them, assist them as much as is possible, and we can also make it global. So to do this, we are trying to look at how machine learning can aid us in especially the predictive aspect of data analytics, wherein we want to have an idea of what may go wrong or what may happen. If we change a particular parameter in our farming practice, how is it likely going to impact the yield at the end of the plantings, at the end of the harvesting season? So we can have an idea of it. And hopefully that can guide us to be able to take more informed decision rather than random one or the age-long decisions that we used to make in farming. Farming is not new, but we all know that things are changing. Even the crops we are planting, the seeds, some of them have been genetically modified, but still we're still using the same procedure for them before we had all this new hybrid seed and the likes. So things changes. However, to know how they are going to affect us, even in terms of the food we are going to take in, a lot of information are needed. A lot of things are needed to be able to understand this. And this is one of the things that data analytics can make possible for us. that, okay, a particular seed, if you plant it at also time, if the rain is limited, if the temperature is high, what are the effects on it? So as human beings, there's little or there's limitation to what we can detect in case something goes wrong. Yeah, if the data is still 10, 15, 20, the moment the data is going to 100, 1,000, millions, then as human beings, our capability to analyze that data visually becomes almost impossible. However, with technology like AI, machine learning, then we can then take our data analytics to a new level whereby better and informed decision could be taken. So this is the iterative process of machine learning that we demonstrated last week. We are going to just remind us of how it was briefly, and then we're going to go back to the demonstration once again, and then see what are the parameter and the hyperparameter, what can we play with, how can we make our prediction to be better than what we started with. So as we see here, the most important here is the data at the beginning. You have the data, you have to be able to get the data. See, this is the beginning. Without data, we can't do anything as far as machine learning analytics is concerned, or machine learning based analytics. And I just want to mention to us that before the coming of machine learning or AI, data science has been in existence, but majorly they have been done using statistical analysis. You will hear of regression line, regression analysis, and host of others. However, with the coming of machine learning, it has made the data analysis to be more accurate, and also the volume that could be done, and also the idea of doing it in real time is made possible with machine learning. In the past, you have to freeze your data, you have to download your data, and then you can use data analysis solutions, SPSS, and host of others. However, as we are moving towards what we call big data, which is characterized by velocity, by movement. So the moving data cannot be analyzed using statistical method, because you need to freeze the data, you need to download the data, and then use the statistical analysis on it. But machine learning has that capability that even while the data is in motion, you can model it, and you can still get your result. For example, somebody is traveling, and then the moment you get to a particular city, Google will disseminate information about your data that you are in Akure to all the subscribing malls and business centers, and you can start getting alert. There's a promotion going in this place, there's this and that. Maybe you are staying in Akure for like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Those alerts must get to you immediately. Otherwise, in the next 20 minutes, you are in another city. It does not make sense to send alert to you again that there's promotion in Akure when you already left. So in order to avoid that kind of delay that may make you miss such opportunity, or that may make the companies or the shopping mall to meet the opportunity of catching you in Akure, there's need to have a technology that as the event is happening, as you are arriving in Akure, the data is being processed online and you are being sent the necessary alert. That is what we call modeling in motion, which is not possible when we use ordinary statistical methods. But with machine learning, we can model where the data is in motion. And this is a big game changer in the field of data science. And that is why today, many people are even confused that machine learning is the same as data science. No, machine learning is not data science, and data science is not machine learning. Data science is as old as data analysis we can think of. Even trying to look at the mean, median, and average that we did in statistics long time ago, that is data science at a lower level. However, the idea of modeling in the large, modeling in the very higher scale, and also modeling why the data is in motion, this is what popularized the idea of machine learning in data science, to the extent that people thought that machine learning is the same as data science. They are not the same. We can still do some data analysis, data science work without machine learning. However, if you want it to be sophisticated, to be more accurate, and to be able to handle data in motion, then you need machine learning. Because data analytics, as we know, This is, we have different type of data analytics. We have the exploratory data analytics, so which also is called descriptive analytics, just to describe what has happened. We answer the question, what has happened? What happened? Why is the data as it is? So we can use visualization, bar chart, histogram, pie chart to visualize the data. How many male do we have in that particular meeting? How many number of crops do we have there? How many number of workers are in the farm? And also for that thing, we can analyze. In which city is the produce better than the other city? These are things we can visualize. These are called descriptive analytics. So what really happened? Why do we have low yield in this farm and we're having higher yield in the other farm? We can easily visualize it. However, when we want to go to what made what happened really happen, why do we have the kind of data that we got this year in our farm? There's a particular city that is known to produce more every year, but this year it went down. Another city that we didn't even expect went up. What happened to it? We want to know what's responsible. We call it diagnostic analytics. Diagnostic analytics. We want to see what are the factors that are responsible for those things that we notice in the data. And then we may also have predictive analytics, which is taking the analytics to the next level. We want to have an idea of what may happen in the future. If I plan this, all things being equal, with this rain or with this irrigation, what am I expected to get at the end of the day during the harvesting time? See? And when should I even start the harvesting? You want to be able to have an idea of what you will do in future or what may go wrong if you don't do something at a particular point in time. At that point, we call this one predictive analytics. We call it predictive analytics. Predictive analytics. The first one was descriptive, and the second one was diagnostic. Diagnostic. You are trying to find out what made the data we receive be as it is. What could have gone wrong? What could we have done differently? Why predictive is trying to see what may happen in the future. We call it proactive modeling. We don't wait for problem to happen, but we want to have an idea of what may happen, and then you can adjust your parameter accordingly to prevent it from happening. So when we predict that there's going to be failure and there's going to be low production in your farm, or the yield is going to be low, we are not causing that farm. It's not a doomsday prediction. It is for you to take preventive measures to prevent that prediction from coming to reality. That is the essence of predictive analytics. It's, for example, sometimes we have a system that predict where there's going to be multiple accidents on a particular road, and then they can send police to that particular junction to make a roadblock, to make sure every car stops or slows down before they pass that place, to prevent that prediction from coming to reality. That is the essence of predictive analytics. To have an idea of what may happen, and you may actually try to avoid it or prevent such disaster from coming up. And this could be also deployed in agricultural production system, especially the crop production we are dealing with. And the last but not the least in the descriptive analytics is the one that we refer to as the prescriptive analytics. Prescriptive analytics. In prescriptive analytics, this is when we try to have some characteristics. We have some expectation, what we want to get from our yield. How can we make it come to reality? You see, that is called prescriptive analytics. We have something we want to achieve. How can we ensure that this thing will happen? It means we have to run a lot of optimization. So prescriptive analytics is about optimizing hyperparameter, optimizing the available resources towards achieving a specific target of the area we are modeling. So whichever type we want, so once you have your data, without data, we can't talk about anything. So you have your data to prepare your data, and that preparation could be making it in a form that you can use. So we recommend your data should be in CSV file. So at least CSV file, which is just an Excel file. It's a special type of Excel. So put your data in Excel and then save as. Then you go down and then select the type, CSV file. And then you save your data and you can upload it into Weka. We are using Weka platform for data analytics or for machine learning modeling. So once you are done, we have what we call feature engineering. There are other data preparation and the likes. We deal with that one later. So sometimes feature engineering, some features that are not very good, you may have to break them down. Maybe you have a feature that is like dates. We have date feature, so which contains 18/1/2025, and we want to break it into three. That is called feature engineering. So I make this one to be day. I created three variables from one variable. The only variable before was date, and made it to become three: day, month, and then year. This is an example of feature engineering. I'm breaking down only one feature, which was date before, the date of planting. And now I make it to be into three features. We do that sometimes to enhance the performance of our modeling. However, more on this before. But what matters is always just get your data ready. Don't do too much pre-processing, because why are you changing date to become three? If there's no need for that, we don't waste time on that. See, that's why my own principle is, I call it let the data speak. Always let the data speak. The original data comes to you, prepare it, make it to be in the form that you can upload to the modeling platform, and then start your modeling. In the modeling, this is where you are going to select the machine learning algorithm you want to work with. Last week, we demonstrated with k-nearest neighbor, and we're going to do that again today. So in the data modeling, you upload your data, and now you have you model it. I selected k-nearest neighbor last time. It can be anyone, KNN. K-nearest neighbor is like, tell me your friend, I'll tell you the kind of person you are. So I did the modeling. I will check the parameter. So performance measure. If the performance measure is not good, I can come back again. I change the hyperparameters of the model, of the algorithm. From k is equal to 1, I make it k is equal to 3. I change all the hyperparameters as much as possible, and I keep checking the performance measure until I get the result that that is being expected, or that is better than what has been gotten before in history. Because we always, in machine learning research or machine learning modeling, we always want to get something better than the previous one. Of course, this is the expectation. Somebody already work on the same data set, but they achieve 85% maybe correlation or whatever they used in performance measure. So we want to achieve better. We want to get 99 or even 100, if possible, 100%. No error. If this is our expectation, we always wish to get that. So if KNN is not able to give you that, then you can move forward to change it to another algorithm. See, I can change the algorithm to maybe decision tree. And I keep going back and forth. This is why I like this principle. So you have that freedom to always go back and do your modeling and check. If it's not working, do it again. If it's not working, do it again until it satisfies you. Sometimes you may go in this looping several times. You may not get what you want. Then maybe you need to go back still to feature engineering now. There I can start, okay, maybe I need to break date to this. Maybe if I break the date to this, I'll get better result. Sometimes you may have to change the entire data. Maybe the data you have gotten is not good. The relevancy of the data is very important. Maybe you have gotten wrong data to analyze a wrong output. In that case, we have to go back. However, in whatever be the situation, always remember that you have to work on the principle that I call let the data speak. See, start with the original data. Don't do too much preprocessing. Too much preprocessing may mutilate your data, like normalization. Some people just get data and they normalize it. Don't normalize initially. Use the data before the normalization and see what you are getting. If you are not getting good result, then we may need normalization later on. These are extraneous processes that are meant to make things better. But we have seen people that thought that normalization is the first thing to do. No, it's not a good practice in data science. You have to let the original data really tell us that, no, I'm not working. Then you can start seeing how you can enhance the data. So you should rather spend more time in this area than mutilating your data. I call it data mutilation. When you do too much preprocessing on your data, you ended up with fake data that are different from what you started with. We try as much as possible to avoid this. So spend much time in data modeling, performance measure, keep going between them. Change the algorithm. There are so many algorithms you can change, you can use. Sometimes you can even combine different algorithms. You see? Sometimes you can combine different algorithms so that you can get better results. It is when all those things fail, then you can still start going back and say, okay, maybe something is wrong with my data. I can see how I can make my data even better. So we say a case of predictive ML solution, machine learning solution for agricultural production. So we've discussed this earlier. We're now going to look at the practical demonstration once again and how we can enhance the result. See, because in predictive solution for crop production, we want to use AI ML to leverage the data-driven insight in order to optimize farming practices and enhance yields. So several things could be done. What matters most for you to collect the data collection. You look at the machine learning modeling approach you want to use, and then this can serve as a decision support system that farmers can be able to know, okay, when am I supposed to start my irrigation? Where am I supposed to do to enhance the yield I'm expecting to be achieved, and also for the thing that we can actually have. The advantages we are bound to gain from this are so huge, like early detection of pest outbreaks. You can be able to predict when pest outbreaks are likely going to come so that you can be able to take a proactive measure to prevent it. You don't want to go to farm one day and you met the whole farm is already swarmed with pests and whatever thing that will destroy the crop. Because the pests don't just come out in a day. There are some characteristics in the atmosphere that would bring them in. So with data analytics constantly being done, we can have a kind of, oh, whenever we have this kind of weather in the past, there's always going to be an outbreak, and a kind of outbreak of a particular type of disease or pest. Then you can start early to put the preventive measure in place so that it doesn't meet you by accident. Because as human beings, we are weak. So our environment communicates with us really well, but we cannot grasp them. That is the power of data science. With data science, when you go to your farm, there's some data that the system can gather for you, sensor-based data. You see when the temperature and the humidity and so go to so level, there's no way you will not have a particular type of disease. Then you start applying the kind of preventive medicine to prevent the disease from really affecting the plant earlier enough. You don't wait until we get it. This is what we call proactive modeling for crop production. Proactive. We are being proactive. We are getting information that ordinarily there's no way we will know it, but our data analytics will make it very much possible. Now, let's look at a demonstration. We are, again, and then tell us how we can actually change the hyperparameters and then play with it. So like I said, we are using the Weka environment. So we encourage us to install it. Yes, I want to believe we can see the Weka environment now. If somebody can chat with me. If you cannot see it, please let me know. I'm having, as you can see here, there's something that looks like a bird. That's the Weka sign. So you click the Explorer. Once you open Weka, you click Explorer. Once you click the Explorer, okay. Yeah, thank you very much. So you can see it, that's good. So the Explorer is open. Now it's time for you to bring in your data set. So you bring in your data set, which you already prepared in an Excel file. This data set we are using as demonstration. There are a lot of data set out there. You can see here, this is the data set in Excel. It's having the type of crops, crop type. It's having the precipitation. It's having specific humidity. It's having relative humidity. It's having temperature. See, the more the number of parameter and the more the number of features you can get, the better. The more, the better. Because sometimes we're going to carry out what we call feature selection. because to do diagnostic analysis, what is responsible for this seed? And this is the outcome. This is the yield. It could be per hectare. The professional knows that this is the number of yield per maybe acres of land or hectare of land or per plot of land, as the case may be. So we want to estimate what's going to be the yield if this is the temperature and the type of plant that we are actually planting. There are different type of plants here. It means our system can tell us, okay, if you plant oil palm in this kind of environment with this kind of characteristics, temperature, humidity, this is the expectation. This is the expected yield. Then you can take active decision, proactive decision. Hey guys, it seems the yield production for oil and oil palm is not good in this area. Let us change it to another one that will be higher. So you look for the one that the yield will be higher for that particular location. And then you move to another location to plant your oil, palm, rubber, depending on the crop. But sometimes we can have modeling across states when it becomes governmental. Government can have modeling across state and then advise farmers. Farmers in so area in the state, if you belong to this particular area, in this year, please try to plant so things because this is what going to be likely being the weather and it's likely going to be the yield. So by so doing, it will avoid a situation whereby people will plant and then there's no rain and then it stop and then everything collapse. And then we all know the implication of such. So once you have your data, this is a very small data. So one challenge is getting the data. And this is supposed to be a waste product. Our past experiences, we are supposed to have documented it. And that is why, moving forward, government need to come up with a Marshall Plan that will encourage and mandate the agencies in charge of this kind of agricultural production or learning to be able to come up with that data, to make it available. The more the data, the better the analytics that can be carried out. So this is just the data. So you have your own data. Maybe you have something like that on your in your laboratory. Get it out. Get it more. You even get more characteristics, as the case may be, that can determine yield. Use of fertilizer, use of pesticide, there are so many things that you can actually include there. If they use pesticide with this particular crop, what is the expected yield? Then you'll be able to know that, oh, if I remove pesticide, is it going to bring it down? If I add another kind of fertilizer, will it increase the yield? All those kind of data, if you can make it available, that will go a long way to ease the modeling we want to do. So now it's time for us to select the data. You will click here, bring in your data that you are looking for. Yeah, I believe my data should be A. So bring in the data. You can see this is where I store my data. However, you won't see it because the Weka is expecting to have ARFF data file. However, my file is stored in CSV. So you have to go here and select CSV. You can see. Once you select CSV, you see my data. That's the data I just showed you. Crop yield prediction data. So I can select, I can open the data. The data is in now. And then these are the characteristics. This is the kind of crop you want to plant, the rain or precipitation, specific humidity, relative humidity, temperature. This is only weather condition. You can add more. Pesticide usage, fertilizer usage, any other attribute you have, the more, the better. Then you can do feature selection, which will help you to select which of the features are more important compared to the others. So once you are done, the data is loaded, then you go to classify. Classify, this is where you are going to select your modeling algorithm in machine learning. So we started with a simple one, which they call it lazy classifiers. The IBK, if you hover it, it will tell you the full name, K nearest neighbor classifier, which can select appropriate value of K based on cross validation. You select it. Now we are ready to go. The IBK has been selected. So it has two hyperparameters that you can play with. You see, we didn't discuss this last time. It has two hyperparameters you can play with. K is equal to 1. You can see this one. K, you can see my mouse. K is equal to 1. That's the default parameter. And the second one is the distance measure. It's using Euclidean distance measure. It's using Euclidean distance measure. Those are the two very important hyperparameters. We call them hyperparameters. Those are the parameters that will affect the performance of the algorithm. So you have to do parameter tuning. Here you select how you want data to be splitted, because we have to split our data into training and testing. See, training and testing. And if the data is much, you can even split into three: training, testing, and validation. However, two is enough. So we use the training data to build the model. You see, we use it to build the model. So in which case, we say, okay, this is cross validation. We can use percentage split. I want to divide my data into 70%. Default is 66%. I want the 70% training, and the remaining 30% should be used for testing. And then I can click start because I already selected this algorithm. Go. It ran the result. We can see here. So this is the result. The correlation coefficient is 0.9964. Mean absolute error. These are the error measures. Depending on the area you are modeling, you have to check the literature. What are the performance measures? That is very important in crop production. Yield production especially. We look at the literature and see what people are using, and then we use the same thing. And we have more. If you want to add more performance measure, you can go here, more option. You can set other measure you want to be used. See, you want others to be, you want to add other evaluation. You can see here, click here, evaluation metrics. You can see these are the one by default that will be given to you. If you don't like anyone, you can uncheck them. And anyone that is missing you can check them and let them come in for you. So this is the default value that we checked. Others are still also possible to add. That is one thing you can do there. Another thing also is if I want to see the actual prediction, I'll go here and I'll say, okay, I want to see the output of the prediction, the actual value of the prediction. Here is null. It means I don't want to see it. If I want to see it, then I go here, I choose, I want it to be in CSV file. It will be written to the memory in a CSV file. I want it, let me put it in plain text. Plain text means it will display it for me on the screen. I can see it. So I run the model again. You can see now, this is the actual outcome. See, these are the testing sets. 30% of the data is being displayed for us because it has trained using 70% and it's showing us the result of 30% of the data. If you want to see the result of the training set, again, you go back here and say, okay, output model for training split here. But we don't want it. The output will be to be full of so many information because training set is just for you to train the model. What matters most is the testing set. If the training set performance is good and your testing set is not good, that's not a good model. So our priority is the testing set. That is why by default, we uncheck output model for training split. But if you want to see it, then you just check it and you're going to get it appropriately. So having done that, then you can see other thing. Another thing that's very important, you can see here, this is the actual value that's supposed to be predicted. 151,000 is the yield value. Now our system predicted it to be 150,428. The error is just 642. Making an error of 642 out of 15,000 plus, these are 100 of thousand. That is a very excellent performance actually. You can see some are very close. Instead of 5,903 prediction, it's predicting 6,248. That's you can have an idea with little plus or minus error, the yield you can produce given a particular temperature and other characteristics that we have gathered. So this can go a long way to assist our farmer towards making informed decision. So if you are not yet even comfortable with the result, you can do hyperparameter optimization, which I told us before. Spend time doing that. Here you can have case 1, make K to be 3, maybe it to be different. And then you can run the result again. Now it improved by 0 point something. It was 996 before. Now it becomes 9974. It means it's improving. We keep doing that until we get the best of the best. And if you are not getting what we have, luckily for us, the first model we selected is working for this data. Let's select another very nice, a very simple algorithm we do use, trees. Let's select decision tree. See, decision tree, yeah, because this is a rep 3, simple one. Build a decision exponent tree using information gain, yeah. So using decision tree, we can see that, okay, decision tree also produces very excellent result, 0.994, a little bit lesser than the KNN. And we can go on with more, even sophisticated algorithm as the case may be. But another thing you can check is, now let's go back to our, okay, let's use this rep 3, decision tree. Now, let me investigate what will happen if I remove temperature. Let's say I remove temperature from the modeling. See, they are in order. The last column of your Excel should be what you want to predict, which is the yield. If you put it not in the last column, then you have to expressly state it here. Because by default, this is what you want to predict. It will select what you want to predict. The last one in the column will be the one selected. But if you put it in another place, then you have to come and select it. Let's say I want to predict temperature. Given this relative humidity, I want to predict temperature. If that's what you want to do, then you have to select it manually. However, by default, this one you want to predict. Now, what we want to practice is, let's say I want to know the effect of temperature. If I remove temperature from the modeling, is it going to affect the result? Then I just click it, and then I can remove. You can see here, remove. I remove temperature. I'm now left with 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm left with just 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's go back now to classify, run the experiment again. Can you see? It's still returning the same value, 0.9944. So which means it seems I can do without temperature and I'll still get my result. Maybe it is the humidity and relative humidity that is doing the work and precipitation. Let's see. If I remove precipitation, let's say I don't want precipitation, what I'm doing now is called feature selection. Because if you build a model with many features, anybody who wants to run that model must produce all those features. So I want life to be easy for my farmers. Okay, I have a model for you that can predict your yield if you can present the following for me. Now we have established that for this data, temperature is not very important. We have kicked it out and our result is still okay. So I want to remove precipitation, which is rain. And let's see what is going to be the result. See, I've removed that. Now I'm going to do modeling. See, so with modeling now, crop specific yield. So strangely, it's still generating a good result. So this is what we call feature selection. We keep removing it until we are left with the least possible value. What is actually the one that is most important? That will give us, that will control what we needed to see in our activity. You see, we model again, and then we keep checking that. This is what we call feature selection. We keep checking it until we see the minimum, because we want to use the minimum features so that it will be easier for us to gather the result whenever we want to do something, when we want to do anything about our prediction in the future. So, and all those things you have removed, you can actually bring them back by undo it. You can see undo here. When you remove a feature, you say undo, undo, undo. It brings all of them back. You are back with your feature, because whatever removal that is being done is not being done on your Excel file. Your Excel file is there. You are just doing it inside the Weka modeling environment. So that is just a little bit of some of the things we can see and then move forward and then see. You can click each of the characteristics, see them, minimum, maximum, specific humidity, relative humidity, temperature. So see the characteristics, see the yield itself, the distribution of the yield. And then you can take it out. For example, the prediction can be taken out and plotted in Excel to see how close the prediction are to the actual value, as the case may be. As the case may be. So that when you see this one now physically, you can put it in the table, that between this and this, what is the difference? Between this and this, what is the difference? And then you can then be see, oh, these are the error, and then how can I make it better? In fact, sometimes you may have data set that is very, very complex. You may have to build multiple model, which we call ensemble, and then you can add it together. So we'll be talking more about all these others later as we move on, maybe in our subsequent engagement, and then seeing the way things are done out. So I believe because of our time, again, this is the machine learning modeling procedure I said we should take. Get your data ready, pick the algorithm of your choice, check the performance after modeling, and then keep going back and forth until you get the better result you want to have. So we're encouraged to go out, search online for data, and let's try to see how you can practice some of these simple things. And we hope to have even more better and further discussion in our next engagement, God willing, inshallah. So, and this is going to be where we're going to call it a day. And then subsequently, we're going to look at other applications like crop monitoring and disease detection. We're going to be looking into precision agriculture, weather prediction and yield forecasting, trying to see, okay, can we predict the yield? Can we really establish what kind of weather are we expecting to be? And also for that stuff we are going to be discussing. So we started with the crop production. Later, we're going to talk about animal husbandry and production also as our little contribution towards the farming society, so that we can all contribute towards reducing hunger in the land and in the world. So thank you very much all for listening. We're going to take a couple of questions before we call it a day. Thank you very much.